everyone, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie and today I'm here with my weekly WIP and Chat. If you are new or you're just not sure what that means, WIP stands for Work in Progress. In this case, I'm going to be starting and working on a diamond painting. And chat just means we're going to catch up and chat a little bit today. So feel free to pull out a project to work alongside me, whether you're going to be diamond painting like I am or working on something else crafty or just getting chores done and treating this like a podcast. Like I said, I'm just looking forward to spending some time with you today, like I do every Monday morning or whenever you're catching this video. So if you're interested, I do have a playlist of all of my past WIP and Chats here on my channel, which those have gone on, well, like since the beginning of my channel, which is 4.5 years ago, almost 5 years. So yeah, if you're just wanting like continuous company and whatnot, that could be a nice way to go about it. Just click on a playlist and let it roll. But as far as what I'm going to be working on and with today, I am going to be starting and working on a new project with you. The kit is from Diamond Delights. I actually don't remember the name of it. It's something with city in the name, I think. It's really cool. Here's kind of a peek at what the artwork itself is. That's the sticker that came with it. So we'll look at it in just a sec. And then the tray, I think this came out last year from Unimade. It was like a spring tray that they did. I am still waiting on, actually I think it just came in, but I need to unbox it, some of their 3.0 trays. This is from their 2.0 line. But the 3.0 has some other changes that I don't know how much I'm going to be a fan of some of them, but I am curious enough to try them out. So anyway, I'm going to be using this tray. I'm going with lots of pinks to go with, the pinks in this kit. And then this pen, this is the rain stick pen that I have from Custom Pens by Cheryl that I used in a WIP and Chat a few weeks back, maybe a couple months back. And I was worried that you guys would find it to be irritating to hear, like noise-wise, but then oh my gosh, so many of you were like, oh no, I just didn't even notice, and it was just soothing when I did hear it. So hopefully it'll be more of the same today, but the colors it worked. And then I have this dot dot putty from Butterfly Effectwares that I'll use in my multi-placer. It's 90s Kid. And this is Wee Wax in Strawberries and Champagne. I'll use that in my single placer. Before I get all of my tools ready to go, let me go ahead and pull out the kit and everything. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, if I'm misremembering, I'm gonna have to pause and go grab some storage. But I believe this came in with the drills in resealable bags, in which case it's such a small kit. I think I'm just not gonna bother kitting it up into storage containers. But anyway, this is the sticker it came with. Diamond Delights always sends like a coordinating sticker of the artwork with the kit, which is really fun. That could be something I could just put in my paper logbook. Sorry, I'm gonna yawn. I'm really tired. I'll explain why. There's a delightful reason why that is just fluffy and adorable, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about my project and stuff first. Okay, this one's just called Cityscape, and the artist is Sarah Bauman, and this is legally licensed. So all of Diamond Delight's kits, which are usually mini size, this is really one of the bigger kits that they have. Whether they're tiny or they're bigger canvases like this one, they're all legally licensed, which means that the artist gave permission for the use of the artwork and is being compensated as well. So yeah, these did come in resealable bags. So I think because this is so small, it's so small. Let's see, it's 30 by 30 centimeters, but that's like the wide, this way. I'm just going to leave them in bags. I just am feeling like I want to be different than my usual right now. I never ever work out of resealable bags, but it only has 18 colors. It'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. I think I'm even going to go ahead and put the sticker labels on these so that it's that much easier to find. I think that'll make it easier too. So let's do that. And I think I'm just gonna let them just sit out. I don't know. I'm feeling really just twitchy, just wanting to be a little bit different. You guys know that I'm always like, oh no, resealable bags are not it for me, but it's what I'm feeling right now. If you're interested in seeing any of my Diamond Delights unboxings, I have like so many kits from their website at this point. I have so many kits from their shop. I love their mini kits, and a lot of the different colors and styles of artwork really appeal to me quite a lot. And so it was kind of a I don't know. It's really easy for me to shop from this small shop. But I'll try to remember to link to the unboxing that included the unboxing of this kit below. I do have some dryer sheets handy in case we run into static with these, because resealable baggies, that is a common thing to run into, is static. So I'm seeing, a little bit. So I have my dryer sheets handy so that I hopefully won't lose my mind too much more than I already have. So anyway, hi, how are you doing today? I hope that your week is off to a wonderful start so far. It is Sunday evening as always, as I am getting ready to wind down my weekend and start the upcoming week. And I'm just, especially coming out of spring break and everything, the kids being on spring break, that is, and everything we've had going on this past week, it just feels like it's been a million years since I've last talked to you in my last week's WIP and Chat. It was only a week ago. And so I'm very happy to be back, getting ready to get back into a little bit of normalcy with the kids in school and do a little bit more diamond painting, because I actually did not do a ton of diamond painting this past week either. So that's been another way that the week has been unusual. I decided to work on this particular project because, a few days ago, I did finish finally Ariel, and that was the last in the Princess series. I messed up. No, okay. Where's 14? There's 14. Okay. It's like I got out of order here. Okay. I was working on this Princess series from Amazon and Diamond Art Club. They had some licensed snack size Disney princess kits. They were all the same size, and I just loved the art style a lot and decided to put together, we'll do a bunch of clips to put together a video of my kind of process of working on all 8 of those kits. And I still have to edit that video together. It's going to be a labor of love, that is for sure. I hope that it comes together the way that I've been envisioning. And so I finished the Ariel kit, and I thought, well, I know for sure that I feel like I need in my bones to work on a square drill kit at this point, because I've been working on 8 round drill kits on a row. The kits that are on Diamond Art Club's Amazon storefront, maybe I'll keep these in here to keep them a little bit more organized anyway. The kits that are on Diamond Art Club's Amazon storefront, I need one of those like baggie holders. That's fine. I don't do this way often enough to warrant like buying one. What was I saying? The Amazon kits on Diamond Art Club storefront tend to all be really snack size, very beginner friendly, very accessible in that sense, and almost always have round drills. Not always, almost always have round drills. And so, I'm definitely the kind of person that really, when I've worked on a bunch of square drill kits in a row or round drill kits in a row, I am itching to go back and work on the other drill shape. I like the balance of it all. I feel like I was just looking at my gems flow earlier when I was debating what kit I wanted to work on next, and thinking, I remember a time when I had almost to the exact number, the same number of square drill kits in my collection as round drill kits, which I was like, oh, this is actually just so fun, because it's really a representation of how much it's just about the artwork and not really about the drill shape for me. But I just like Diamond Art Club in particular, I feel like either the art that was appealing to me or just they in general were releasing more square drill kits. And there's some shops like Jada Gem Shop that I prefer their square drills over their round drills and stuff like that. So that balance has gotten very, very different than it used to be, where now it's like, oh, no. I have way more square drill kits in my collection than I do round drills, which is fine. But if I work on too many square drill kits in a row, I definitely am like, okay, I need to work on a round drill kit. Something that just feels a little bit more relaxing. But I didn't think that I was ready to tackle a really large project. And I also found myself feeling pretty flexible about what, project I might want to work on next, as far as like my next bigger project, when I am ready for it, which I think I hopefully will be after this. Let's not do that. Let's quarter this at least. I was just gonna just like fold it back willy-nilly. I think I'll work on this in quarters. Where's my washi tape? Just split this whole thing into 4 sections. It's got enough color blocking that that'll be fine. How are we liking the scatterbrained WIP and Chat? And then I thought, because I'm not having these super strong feelings about what to work on next, why don't I pick out some kits from my list of 20 kits for 2025, which are just kits that I kind of had in mind to maybe work on this year. Kits from companies that I haven't worked on a kit from before, or ones that I haven't worked on in a while, or just other kits that for whatever reason I was like, oh, this just seems like a kit I might want to work on this year. And that's a video I did back in January. I will try to remember to link it below. But I thought, let me plan to have my next slightly bigger project be one of these kits that's from a company I haven't worked on, either in a while or ever. And why don't I'm gonna have my Patreon vote on which one to do. And I didn't have this idea until earlier today because I was procrastinating. And I thought, oh, well, I don't want to only give them like a couple hours to get the chance to vote. Let me work on one more little snack size kit. I haven't worked on one of these canvases from Diamond Delights before, so why don't I do that? And that'll buy me another, at least a couple of days, because I'm not diamond painting a ton lately, which is fine. And so that's where I landed on this one. So okay, we're gonna start with this like hot pink, bright coral color. How's the static in this one? Okay, so there is static. I'm gonna go ahead and drop a little dryer sheet square in there. You can also breathe into the bags. Imagine the kind of breath that you would give if you were trying to fog up a mirror or a window. You're just introducing humidity, moisture. That will usually combat the static, because static is really happening when there's just a lot of dryness happening. Where are my actual cut up dryer sheet pieces? I'm getting like all of my big folded up pieces. I'm like, where are the little ones? I need the little ones. Okay. Might need to actually cut up some more too. So I'm going to tuck this in there. Let's see if this helps without throwing it on the glue. Yeah. Not perfect, but better. Plastic bags. These also, like, the more plastic you introduce, the more likely you are to run into static. So anyway, as long as it's not a huge pain to work with, let's see what we can make work. So yeah, that's why I'm working on this one, and I'm very happy to be. I almost worked on, there's like, it's a variation on the Great Wave off Kanagawa that I almost worked on. Then I thought, oh no, let me hold on to that one for Summer with the Masters. Actually, I'm going to bring you guys down just a little bit closer so that you can see a little bit more of my placing. So look away if you get seasick. Let's see a little bit more of the actual diamond painting for those of you that do like to watch the actual diamond painting process. And we'll get off to the races here. Okay. So yeah, Summer of the Masters, if you missed it, that announcement video did go up, and it is officially happening. It is going to be, like I mentioned in the video, a little bit lower key. I think that that'll just feel a little bit more manageable with everything I have going on in life right now. I'll be honest, I thought about just sort of taking the year off from hosting the event at all, or just having the event take totally a year off. That probably doesn't surprise you to hear if you've been listening and on my WIP and Chats and have heard me talk about the event and everything, and how in past years I've worried that it just kind of is the start of a very busy season that leads to the end of the year, kind of straight on through, and how I was trying to think, what can I change so that I don't feel burned out at the end of the year like I have for the past couple of years as far as like diamond painting and YouTube goes. So I just thought, I'm hoping that by changing the format a little bit, that's going to help it feel, a little bit more relaxed, and maybe that'll be helpful for other people too. I was a little nervous putting out that video and, saying, okay, it's going to be even more laid back than last year, and I was hoping that people wouldn't be upset knowing that it's like, well, that may mean that there aren't necessarily, as many event videos or as many prizes necessarily to give away. But I don't know, I feel like some of the Masters maybe tends to draw in more crafters that are a little bit more, they're just kind of chill, like long-term casual crafters working on their crazy confetti heavy old Masters projects that take us years to complete. So maybe we're all in good company in that way. I am bummed that unless things change, pretty soon here, I don't know that I'm realistically going to be able to get my, annual John William Waterhouse custom. Maybe that'll be another way I can shake things up this year, that kind of change, and having, maybe smaller and less, I don't know, less large scale projects, I guess, to work on. Maybe that'll help. I don't know, but we'll see. I was really happily surprised at how kind and positive the response was, and it was just a lot of people that were really excited that the event's happening at all, and they are happy to join in. So I'm really happy about that. So thank you guys. I really, really appreciate that, and I am looking forward to doing the event with you all. In whatever exact form that looks like. So yes, that announcement went up if that's something you're interested in participating in. And then I was happily surprised by a physical sneak peek from Diamond Art Club instead of another digital one this past week. And I don't, like I said in last week's WIP and Chat, this can really change day to day, week to week, hour to hour. I have no idea if this week will be, if I'll have a physical one to show or if it's going to be back to digital. But I'm just kind of happy to go with the flow and just, it's fine. Whatever it looks like, I'm feeling flexible and happy to just go with it. So, we'll see. There's some really pretty things coming out though. I'll say that. And, yeah, I also was curious as I am working on this kit and I'm like, oh, it's so nice to be working on something that is smaller scale. Part of the reason for that is, like I said, we've had a lot going on, and I've noticed this over time, and I'm curious if you have noticed this about yourself and your own crafting. But do you find that when you are really busy, like in a busy season of life, or when you are feeling, stressed or even down or anything like that, do you find that affects your crafting? Like, does that make you feel like, well, when I'm stressed and have all this other stuff going on, I don't feel like I want to work on big projects because for me, it's like I feel like I don't have as much energy to put towards large projects. I feel like smaller scale projects just feel a lot more doable to me and a lot less stressful to me. Or are you like, no, when I'm super stressed, I want something that's really going to go ahead and be really complex to work on because it gives my brain something else to focus on. I find a direct correlation between just sort of other things that I have going on in life and what I sort of feel up to working on in my diamond paintings. I was curious if I was not the only one that felt that. I saw like a little crumb or something in there. These square drills are great. I'm not noticing any quality issues so far with these. I mean, this is only the one color, but it's good. There is a slight variation. Like there's two different, like a couple of different dye lots in there. You can even see it in the camera. But I've run into this with multiple different companies, and I usually just kind of go with it. When there's more color blocking like this, I feel like you might notice it more, but we'll see how it looks once I have more colors down. But yeah, do you feel like sort of what you have going on in your life outside of crafting, does that affect what kinds of projects and things you want to work on in your crafting? Yeah, so there is that. And then I feel like overall, this past week, I had one less video go out than I had originally planned to. I took a day off from filming that I hadn't necessarily planned to just because of busyness, which I'm going to explain more shortly. And it's not all bad things at all. It's not really bad things at all. But I was like, I just am so tired. I'm going to have to, as much as I don't want to take, and only a day off and only have 4 videos go up, I'm going to. So, you guys never give me a hard time about that, but I give myself a hard time about that because I, want to stick to a consistent schedule and whatnot. But I am thinking about okay, so after this one, what I want to work on, I think I'll put some kits up to a vote. I have like a kit from the Creativity Squirrel, which I haven't worked on a kit from them yet, and I definitely want to get to one of theirs this year. I was gonna put up I can't put up to a vote yet because I haven't unboxed it yet, but There's a kit from Mood that I'm going to be unboxing soon. That's a newer release of theirs. That would be in the mix too. I'd like to work on a kit from Mood and try out their quality. I have a carrot art kit that I really like the look of. And then there is, well, they're not a new to me shop. There's a kit that I want to work on from Jaded Gem Shop this year called Talk to the Snakes. And it's the year of the snake. And I just thought it would be really fun to do that one this year because of that. So, I don't know, different kits that I'm kind of pondering. And in next week's video, you'll know which one I landed on. I used to be able to say like, oh, you can just check over on my Instagram and you'll see me post there. But I am not consistent about posting on Instagram at the moment. And every once in a while, I feel like I'm kind of getting back over there, but it's a little more sparse, it's a little fewer and further between. So yeah, that's kind of what I have in mind for upcoming projects and whatnot. I'm also continuing to just be, going back to thinking about Summer with the Masters, not being able to get in a John William Waterhouse kit because I didn't order it early enough to, before shops started really going on pause or having to really change how they're able to do their orders because of, what's going on in the world at the moment. And I live in the States, so I'm affected by, the costs that would be affected by these things. My heart is still continuing to hurt for small shops so much. And seeing, it feels like every week, like a new SAT update from, a small shop or two. And there have been shops that have really abruptly closed down. I was really, really surprised to see an email from Craft Ease. I was bummed that it went to my promotions tab in Gmail. But they posted an email, sent an email that said, hey, we're sorry to say we're going to be closing our doors. And it was basically by the end of the day that they sent that email, if I'm remembering correctly, or it was maybe the next day at the latest. So it was very little notice. And then again, I don't know that I would have purchased anything from them. I unfortunately feel like I was so happy with their quality, like circa 2020, 2021. I felt like they were just a gem for budget kits and did a really nice job with their rendering. And then at some point, they changed their manufacturer or something, and it was like along with so many other people, it just seemed like they were always getting errors with their orders, and the quality of the square drills I had heard had just gotten really, really terrible. And I just I stopped really buying from them. I was like, well, I'll just be happy with the kits that I have. And I never, even if I have a poor experience with the shop, I never hope that they're going to shut down. I hope that they will be able to improve as much as they're able to. But it was just, I don't know, it was one of those things, especially shops that had been around since what feels like early on when I started diamond painting, like 2020, it just feels like it hits different when you hear about those shops closing down. Because I was like, that wasn't just a small shop that sort of started, popped up and started kind of out of the blue. It felt very, official and professional and stuff. Like they kind of, in a lot of ways, had their ducks in a row and had, things, I don't know. It just felt like it was more of a official professional type situation, even though they were having quality issues. So that kind of surprised me too about them so abruptly closing their doors. But that prompted me to go and take a look at, there's this licensed shop list that my friend Lindsay and I had maintained for a long time for our Facebook group, Diamonds and Emeralds. And I went back just to kind of look at it. And every once in a while I thought, oh, I should maybe try to go back and attempt to update that because it's pretty out of date at this point. I think that the last time I did an update on it was maybe last summer. It's been a while. And the number of shops on that list that I know have closed down since then, it was... I'm sorry, I'm speechless. It would be a lot to go through and update all those. And it would also be really sad. I know that it's a really helpful resource for some people, but it's going to take a lot more energy and mental preparation to attempt to go through and update that. And there's so many shops that have opened since the last time that I did that update. There's some shops that have probably opened and closed, since I did an update. And it just got really complicated to try to verify, to just kind of double check that shops had licensed artwork. And there were a couple of times when, we were trying our best to figure it out, and sometimes we would err on the side of caution. And there were some times when we had people that took it very, very personally, got very, very upset with us. And there was part of me that kind of went, well, like, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and I'm not trying to be problematic. I'm not like trying to say something by not including a shop on this list. And sometimes some people got really upset to the point of taking it like, and just really intense personal attacks on Lindsay and myself. And it just was like, this isn't worth it. Like, this is something we just are volunteering to put together. There's no ulterior motive here. It was purely just there are people that care about licensed artwork, and we're just trying to make sure that it is licensed. And I don't know, it was messy. It got really messy, and I just kind of brushed my like washed my hands of it, like a little bit, because I just got to a certain point. I was like, I can't, I don't know. So anyway, all that to say, I think I'm a little bit wary of trying to get back to it, because I'm feeling a little bit nervous about like, what if I make someone upset again because I don't know, misunderstood or couldn't find what I was looking for, or decided to play it safe. So anyway, no one's asked about it in a long time, actually, so I'm not sure how many people really are actively still referring to it, but it just came to mind. It came to mind the other day. So when I saw that Crafties was closing. So for those of you that might have wondered. And I guess maybe if that is a resource that you did use and found to be helpful, and you'd be interested in us trying to update it, let me know in the comments. And I don't know, I guess if maybe this isn't me fishing, I'm not saying please come out of the woodwork and tell me how much you loved this and you want it to be updated and it's so useful. Please, no, don't like butter me up. Like, if you're like, oh no, that was actually helpful, like I did use it and I miss that it's like not up to date, only if you actually have thought and felt that way, let me know. Or if you're like, wait, what? That sounds, helpful. Yes, I'm interested. Sure, let me know. But otherwise, if you're like, no, I do my own research tonight, I'm good. Like, totally valid. Yeah, totally valid. But anyway, we're, holy cow, almost halfway into this WIP and Chat. And I feel like I cannot believe that I haven't told you like one of these biggest updates, and something that I haven't been talking about here on my channel, even though it has been in the works for over a month at this point. I think I just sort of was feeling kind of anxious about sharing, and for a number of reasons. And then I also wasn't 100% sure it was going to work out. But as of this past Wednesday, we now have a puppy in our family. We have a puppy. And like I said, it's been in the works for a month. And we just, it just all really came together in a way that felt like it was supposed to be this like very specific dog and this very specific time. And so here we are. So we have a puppy. So our puppy's name is Scout, and he's a mutt. And we know his mom was a blue heeler, and the dad just was a brown and white mutt. And so basically this mama dog had a litter of puppies, and then mom and litter of puppies showed up under Jade's one of the houses on Jade's property. And Jade had sent out a picture to some friends, and there was something about when I saw these pictures, this dog instantly connection. Like I felt a connection to this very specific dog. It's not the first time that a friend or an opportunity to potentially like adopt a puppy has come up in the past couple of years. And it's always felt like, no, it's not quite the right time. Like, we're not ready yet. We know that we're going to want to adopt a dog at some point, but it's just, we're not quite there yet. Or no, it's not the right dog. It's not the way, whatever. But then something about this time, I was just like, I then immediately messaged Jade and I was like, I think I might want to come out and meet these puppies. And so, I went out, instant connection with this very specific dog in person as well, even though I had mentally geared myself up to be like, nope, this, we're not getting hopes up. This is just a visit. We're not planning anything. We're definitely not bringing a puppy home today. This is a month ago. So no, I didn't bring a puppy home that day. We're just going to go visit. Very chill, playing it cool. And no, just very, very specific, quick connection with this very specific puppy. And then came home and talked at length with Adam about it. And then the next week he went out with me because he wanted to meet the puppies too and kind of see what he thought. And he was kind of, maybe wanting to consider some of the other puppies. And I think that it was a little bit of, he just didn't necessarily want to just go with the one that I had suggested right away. And also, the one that I had connected with wasn't like when Adam first met the litter, this one was not like necessarily as, I don't know, engaging. So, and then the following week we went out with, we took Connor and Micah and met the puppies there again. And that is what honestly kind of sealed the deal, because it's like this particular puppy just beelined for Connor. Connor was smitten and in love, and yeah. And so then we were like, well, we aren't ready to bring this puppy home today. This was a couple weeks ago. I said, we have some things coming up and we want to do some more research, more prep, lay out a very specific, budget. Just, we want to really cross all our T's, dot all our I's, that kind of thing. And just take some time to really think on this. We don't want this to be an impulse decision. And then with the kids on spring break this week, we ended up deciding to go ahead and go out on Wednesday, and we brought Scout home. So Scout is, well, the mom was basically essentially a stray. And so they don't know exactly when the puppies were born, but we're guessing that right now he is around 11 weeks old, give or take. And, I took him to the vet and they didn't necessarily have a better guess because he hasn't lost any of his puppy teeth. So they were like, well, he could be anywhere between, sorry, my mic just slipped. 1 second. Let me fix that. He could be anywhere between 6 to 7 to 12 weeks old, this whole range. And so they said, once he starts losing his puppy teeth, then we'll kind of know better. But we did have to get creative with kind of how things are set up in our home, and working on things like crate training and everything and how we wanted to set that up. And so it took really a lot of kind of careful planning and being strategic about things. And, especially things like wanting to make sure we were front loading, Micah a lot, because he just, with big changes, we wanted to be careful about how we were handling that. And being really sensitive to if this isn't going to work for him, if we need to kind of backtrack, then we can do that. And as it turns out, the two things that we were most concerned about, which is how is our cat Skip going to handle this, and how is Micah going to handle this once the puppy is actually in our home. Both those things have been a piece of cake. Skip, our cat, has been chill from the second that this puppy walked in the door. Not once has Skip's tail poofed out or has he looked stressed or scared. He just chills he's nearby. He likes that he can have the high ground over the puppy, but he's fine. And the puppy kind of wants to get all up in his business and he'll kind of back away, but he's never hissed or gotten stressed or upset at all. And Micah has just, as uncertain as Micah has been around other dogs, he loves Scout. We have Scout and Skip. Let me tell you how many times Adam and I have mixed up their names already. Connor corrects us every time. And we're like, oh my gosh, their names are just Scout and Skip. They're just really close. what was I saying? Oh, Micah is loving playing with Scout, and he's excited to pet Scout, and it's so cute. It's so cute. I'm so relieved. Frankly, I think I'm the one that, more so than I expected, has had a harder time. And I think it's mostly because of the sleep deprivation, because crate training is not for the faint of heart. And we had to really make a big pivot after the first 2 nights just really did. It was not working, which, I mean, I know some people probably aren't necessarily team crate. We really need to, if at all possible, make this a possibility for our puppy, just for sake of safety, because when if we need to all leave at some point, we want him to be able to be in his crate, especially as a puppy, when it's like there's things he could get into and chew or eat. It's for safety. And that's, I feel like, general consensus and knowledge when it comes to puppies and dog training in general, is like, if you're able to, like, crate training is a really, really, really good idea. So, I was just like practically delirious after the second night of very little sleep and trying to figure out like different ways to try to handle this. I had done a bunch of research, but still was like, I feel like this just isn't working. Like, what should we do? And then what we ended up doing was putting an air mattress on the floor right next to the crate. And his crate was in our room by our bed. He could see our bed, but he seems to have a very small radius of how far away he's comfortable being from us, at least those first few days. Like, he's already getting better about it. He's already getting much better about it. And we've, what's today, day 5 with him. So I'm optimistic that this is just kind of part of his adjustment period. But anyway, the past 2 nights have been very smooth in terms of, like, we've all slept. The puppy has not whined. It's been fine. And I feel much better having caught up on sleep. And poor Adam's like, I didn't realize that you weren't sleeping. And he's like, you should ask me for help. Like, I want to help. I'm here to, like, we're tag teaming this together. And bless my husband, he's the one he's sleeping on the air mattress. He's like, no, I'll sleep on the air mattress next to the crate, and you sleep in the bed so you can make sure you're catching up on your sleep and feeling better. Yeah. So, and I knew that, like, even if it's a change that I'm really happy and excited about, I still struggle with change sometimes, especially something that really does change so much about your routine and your day-to-day, like a puppy does. Adam was equating it, and I think this is a good way to probably look at it, is it's very similar in a way to when you have, like, a newborn. Like, you don't realize how much it really just changes everything and how deep of an impact it has until, like, you're actually in it. Now, we've had a puppy before, but when we had adopted that puppy, he was like 7 months old, and so I think some of this, like, separation anxiety wasn't as big of an issue, and he wasn't teething. It was a little bit, I don't know, less of a wild card in some ways. And so I think probably also because how we lost that dog was highly traumatic. I think there are some feelings that are probably coming up from now having a puppy, because we haven't had a dog since that dog, that I think it's just bringing some of those feelings to the surface in a really intense way. So, like, there's various reasons why, like, the first few days I had, especially like days 2 and 3, I had a pretty hard time with, but like today has gone very smoothly. Oops, let me just throw my pen away. Has gone really smoothly. But there's also, like, this is a really common thing as well that I was, again, aware of, had tried to mentally and emotionally prepare myself for. But there's this sort of idea of the puppy blues, where it's really, really, really common for people, like, in the days or weeks after they've adopted a puppy, to go through the puppy blues, where they're feeling like, I've made a horrible mistake. Was this the right decision? Oh my gosh, like, my life's been upended. And yeah, so I knew that I was probably going to feel some of the puppy blues, but I didn't expect it to hit like that quickly and that intensely. So just know, like, if you've gone through that sort of thing, like, it's not just you. Like, it's a really, really common thing to sort of experience. as much as I am often like, oh, Reddit is kind of a cesspool. Sorry if you love Reddit. There is like actually a pretty like a subreddit. I think it's Puppy 101 or something. There's a couple of different subreddits, and people there tend to be so sweet and reassuring. I didn't post, but I was reading a lot of posts from people that were like, "Oh my gosh, I have the puppy blues," or "I'm just having such a hard time," etc., etc. And the comments are always so sweet and supportive. Like it's gonna get better. Like it really is. It gets easier. So I'm like, I feel like we're already seeing a bit of that, and it's only been a few days, and I'm sure there will be ups and downs. But I've talked a lot about the negatives, but seriously, I'm so glad we have him. He's so sweet. He's so sweet. And as much as I'm like nervous about as he really gets into teething and losing his like puppy teeth, I'm like, we'll figure it out. We'll navigate it. And seeing my kids with him has been just absolutely heartwarming. And Connor is already taking some like responsibility with him, and it's even got Connor like playing outside more because we have this wonderful back patio area that's completely enclosed, completely safe. And so the puppy has been out there a lot, and Connor's gone out there to like play with him, and I'm like, this is great for Connor too. So and Connor is, kind of in charge of helping with feeding him and everything. And we'd had the conversation ahead of time, like, okay, if we're going to get this puppy, it's something that we're going to, want you to help with feeding. And, once he's old enough to like take on, walks, not that he's going to walk the dog by himself, but like, playing with him and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it's already been good for Connor in that way, and he's really enjoying it a lot. So obviously haven't taken the puppy out, to any parks or really out in public or anywhere outside besides our backyard and the vet's office because he's not fully vaccinated yet. But hopefully here in the next, I don't know how quickly they do the rounds of shots one after the other, but I think there's 3 rounds, especially of like the main one that you really worry about, which is parvo. And then Scout like charmed the heck out of Adam's family when they came up today for Easter. So we knew that we didn't want to take the puppy like out of the house and take him with us down to like Adam's parents' house. We were like, well, they were going to do an Easter egg hunt with the kids again this year, like they did last year at at a park. And then came back to our place we did an Easter brunch. So I stayed back with the puppy and made this cinnamon roll French toast casserole that the last time I made it, it's been a few years. I used to be, when my kids were much littler, I was pretty heavily involved with our church's MOPS program. MOPS is Mothers of Preschoolers. It's basically just a get together. It was every week or every other week. I don't know. I led our MOPS group for a few years, and I'm like, I don't remember how often did we meet. And we would do our breakfast. We would rotate which tables were in charge of like bringing breakfast each week, and we did potluck style breakfast. Part of the draw was the idea that like, you're putting your kiddos in, the childcare at the church because the church provided it for us, which was amazing. And you get to like eat a meal while it's hot and you're uninterrupted. And you just get to have this like self-care time and connect with other moms that are in a really similar life stage as you. And anyway, long story short, this was one of the things I would usually make when it was, my turn or my table's turn to bring breakfast, because it's pretty easy. You use a 9x13 pan. You chop up cinnamon rolls, like a couple of packs of like the refrigerated cinnamon rolls, the ones that come in the pressurized cans that like give you a mini panic attack so you don't know when they're going to pop open. Yeah, it's great. It's like Perfection, but for adults, like the game Perfection. I hated that game so much. And where was I going with that? Oh, so it's that, and then what you use to make French toast, like milk, eggs, vanilla, cinnamon, and you pour that over the chopped up cinnamon rolls, and then you can drizzle some syrup on it if you want to just like make it a real sugar bomb. And then you bake it in the oven for, I don't know, it's like 375 for 25 minutes or something. And then you drizzle the icing packets from the cinnamon roll packs on top after it's like come out of the oven and cooled a little bit. It's delicious. It is not even remotely like, if you're looking for something that's low sugar, this is not it, but it was delicious. So I thought, well, let me make that for our brunch. And I was able to prep and cook that without any issues from the dog. And Adam's mom brought a couple of food things, and I bought like some fresh fruit and stuff. And we just had a wonderful little Easter brunch, and they were all excited to meet the puppy. And when Adam and I go to, we're going to Vegas for, well, a thing that I mentioned before, but I'm like, I mean, at this point, there's no way my extended family are listening to this, but my brother's eloping with his fiance to Vegas in a couple of weeks, and just immediate family are going because the like little church they're doing it at has like a max, you can have like a max of 10 people there. So we're leaving our kids with Adam's parents, and we're like, and guess what? You get some time with the puppy. So they're actually quite excited for that now, especially that they've met the puppy. So, yeah, it'll be an adventure. It'll be fine. But, okay, next color. Yeah, these all have static. Let me, where are those dryer sheet squares? I might have to go find some scissors and really chop one of these up. Okay. Look at all these shades of pink. My gosh, I think the windows are all special drills. Oh, no, they're not. Oh, that's two different L's. I'll have to make sure I don't mix those up. There's like a thin line L and like a bold L. They're both yellow, like the background's yellow and the L is black. Anyway, so we had a good Easter weekend. Honestly, the past few days have felt a little bit like a blur. It's just been like 100% puppy, 100% of the time. But I already feel like we're kind of maybe getting back to our normal rhythm and stuff. So, I'm just so relieved that Micah and Skip both, like the two that we are the most concerned about, they've both been doing great. They're just like, yeah, okay, this is fine. Micah especially, that shocks me the most with him. But I am not going to complain a single bit about it. So yeah, we have a puppy, and, I'll probably share about some of his antics as we go, and maybe I'll post a picture in the community tab of the puppy if you are interested. He's really cute. His face markings, he has this big, so he's white with brown spots. He has this big brown spot over one of his eyes. It kind of reminds me of the look of the Bullseye, the Target mascot. It's kind of what Scout looks like. I almost called him Skip again. So, yeah, we've been talking about getting a puppy for years at this point, and then we had decided, well, I think we're going to wait until the cat we had that passed late last year. We thought she just would have been so incredibly stressed. It wouldn't have really been fair to her to get a puppy or to get a dog, just in general. It just, she was so skittish, it wouldn't have been fair to her. So it was like, well, we're definitely not going to get a puppy before, while she's still with us. At least that was the plan, and that's how it ended up sadly working out. And then it was like, well, the timing just isn't right, just with various things we have kind of going on with personal life stuff. And even still, it's like, this timing isn't 100% perfect. I know there's part of me that's like, it's the only reason I didn't want to talk about it because I was worried about like just judgmental comments, I guess, which I mean I guess that's fair, but yeah, it just is one of those things that I just kind of felt like the universe was coming together to be like, it's this dog, and it's this time, and that's like, what are you gonna do? So that has a little spot on it. Let's pull this one off. So yeah, anyway, Scout and Skip, they'll be quite the pair. I hope that they start getting along and maybe even playing together a little bit. So yeah, it'll be fun. Never a dull moment. So yes, lots of puppy updates, puppy talk. There have been other things going on too, though. So we had spring break this week. it was unfortunately a little bit cold for swimming, which really stinks. Like it really warmed up like just the past couple of days, and I was like, well, we have the puppy, so we're kind of all hands on deck with the puppy in the house. So we didn't really get to go swimming, unfortunately, but I think we're going to try to go in the next couple of days. I think the kids would really like that, even though they're not technically on spring break. It's still easy enough to go after school. We didn't do anything else too crazy over spring break. I took the kids along with one of my nephews to like an adventure zone down at the block in Orange. I was kind of bailing out. My sister-in-law had something come up, and she was just super, super thankful that I was able to. I was like, I'll come down. Like, I'll bring my kids, and I'll take your, I'll help out. I ended up having a lot of fun there, and didn't end up making it to Chuck E. Cheese like we had planned. We have like this monthly membership for there that my mom got for the kids for Christmas, and it just ended up being a busy week. It was also like I had taken Connor with me to go pick out some toys for the puppy, and just kind of various things getting ready for puppy. Setting up the crate, making space for the crate, which I have felt so silly and self-conscious. Like in my videos this week, there's this spot right here. It's not dirt. It's not anything like that. That's where I got pinched, just like in a blood blister or something. Sorry to be gross. It's tiny though. From where I got pinched really bad when I was setting up the puppy's crate. I tried putting makeup on it at one point for a video, and it just like rubbed off immediately. And I was like, well, oh well. How often are you seeing that part of my finger anyway? But yeah, it was a good spring break. Connor was really bummed that it's over. When we were kind of mentioning about going back to school tomorrow, I was like, I don't want to think about that now. It makes me too sad. And we were like, I know. He'll be all right. But I was like, I get it. When you're a kid and you're just like, spring break, you just want it to last forever. Summer, you want to last forever too. Which, speaking of, I guess, summer is just a couple of months away. I should start looking into, there's some like really good, like really low cost VBS options near us. A couple that Connor really loved going to last year. Michael will go to summer school, and so that'll take up several weeks of the summer for him. And then we also want to try to do swim lessons. My mom was like, I'll get Micah swim lessons for his birthday. I was like, oh, that would be delightful. So we'd like to get Micah a little bit more like water safe like Connor is. But yeah, so I guess looking ahead to summer just a little bit too. But I had something else I was going to say that I forgot. Oh, and I did get to have my first like actual appointment with my new therapist this week. After having to just jump through a few like hoops and some paperwork and doing like the initial consultation and finding a time and stuff, I did have my first appointment, which was technically like an intake. We were talking about, why are you here? Tell me all of your trauma stories and all that, which is, I don't have like a really hard time like getting really emotionally vulnerable like really quickly if I feel like I am comfortable with the person. And I did feel like I was clicking with this therapist pretty quickly, which I was really thankful for. She is younger than me, and for some people that might, depending on the person, that might be a barrier for me. But I did not get that sense like with her at all. So at one point, because she was asking a little bit about like kind of what I do, what my background is and stuff, and I mentioned having a YouTube channel, and she asked a little bit more about it, like what it was for. I was like, is this craft called diamond painting? She's like, oh, my friends do that. And she's like, that's so cool. There's a tiny part of me that was like, I don't think she would, because I think this would be unprofessional, but I'm like, I hope she doesn't try to look up my YouTube channel. I don't know how she would. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you look up diamond painting, I might come up, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but I just had a moment of like, ooh, like, don't look me up. Not that it would be like a problem. I just was like, I don't know. I kind of like that sort of being separate from therapy, but I think it'll be good. And we set up like a time to meet weekly and everything. And, like while my kids are in school, and we'll get to just do it telehealth style and stuff. And I'm hoping it'll be an ongoing like good fit, and then I'll just be able to, I think it'll be good to have that person that I can lean on and work through some of the hard stuff with, and I can literally go to about like, can you help me navigate these puppy blues, for example, you know? So yeah, glad to have that all worked out. And I did mention, I think in last week's WIP and Chat, and I'll just mention it again because it was such a helpful resource and I want to make sure I share it for those of you that might have missed it. But I initially thought that when you go to if you search on Google for, therapists that take X insurance in my city, I feel like almost always the top result is going to be Psychology Today. And I initially thought, I was like, isn't that a magazine? Like, why is this coming up first? And thinking it wasn't necessarily like a solid option. But you guys, it is. You can filter by so many different things. And it came up with so many people and options. It was so helpful. And it even has like a built-in, like you can contact the provider just directly from the website. You just click on there, you can type in a little message and it shares your contact info. And then they reach out to you. And I was like, it's a way to make it feel easier and more doable in a world that otherwise feels just very overwhelming if you're like me. And sometimes it's like, where do you even start? So just wanted to mention that. Check out Psychology Today. I'm not sponsored. I just like they do like sponsorships. Just a free resource that I found helpful, and just if it helps one other person, then wonderful. I am like mission accomplished. Okay, so oh my gosh, and now I've been we're chatting your ears off, and we're getting towards the end here. So really quickly, what I've been reading and watching and listening to. Reading is still, nothing exciting to report here. I've genuinely considered switching this spot over to be more like talking about gaming. Not that I'm doing a lot of gaming either, but like that's still something I feel like I could say more about than just like, I have nothing to say about my reading this week. So I don't know. Any gamers, would you be interested in hearing me talk more about games, video games and whatnot? Watching, Adam and I got through another episode or two of season 3 of Star Trek Discovery and are still really enjoying that quite a lot. Its evenings have been a little bit busier just with me, working on videos and whatnot. And so we haven't gotten to watch as much as we, were for a while there. We were really blowing through seasons of Discovery. And I'm enjoying it. I'm like, I want to keep watching. We've only gotten through a couple episodes of this season. And then listening to, I was listening to The Tortured Poets Department by Taylor Swift this week in honor of, she posted that it's the 1-year birthday of that album coming out. I was like, has it been a year? I was like, oh yeah, that album came out like not that long before Adam lost his job. And I don't know, I had that like association with it specifically. But I was going back and listening to it. I was like, yeah, this is a good album. This is a really solid album. I was bummed that when I went to, I'm super excited that I got to go to one of the Eras tour dates, but I was bummed that it was before she released that album and added it to her, tour, but still. These window outlines, they look so funny in the camera to me for some reason. Okay, let me grab my next color. I know we're getting to the end, but I'm still gonna grab my next color anyway. Number 11. Yeah, it's got a little globe. Okay, that'll work. And then I also weirdly have been enjoying listening to, this is kind of watching too, because I was watching some of the videos coming out of Coachella. Some of it in morbid fascination, but I don't know if I'm the only one. I'm kind of digging, did I say this in a past WIP and Chat? Lady Gaga's return to just super theatrical style of music and performance. Lady Gaga circa 15 years ago or whatever, 10 years ago. I'm like, this is it's just, it's very Lady Gaga, and it's fun. And I don't know what it is. I'm kind of digging that she's kind of going back to that. So it's just, I don't know what it is. I could listen to her music. It gets stuck in your ear, stuck in your head. And then as far as what I have coming out for videos this week, I'm going to see if I can get that princess video together. That would be fun to be able to get edited together and have to share with you. I'll have some unboxings as well. We're not coming up on the end of the month just yet, so I'm not looking at month in review time or anything, but And it's up in the air if I'll have like, if I'll have any kind of Diamond Art Club sneak peek, or if that'll be like digital or physical. I don't know. I just kind of just like, yeah, whatever. Let me know when you know, and just go with it. So, but yay, we got through a little bit of this project. I'm not having any issues with the square drills, not having any problems at all with the accessories. Everything's working great, and I'm enjoying the very chill lo-fi vibe of this whole piece and all the shades of pink. So I'm gonna get some more work done on it as we're wrapping up. Well, after I wrap up here. But thank you so much for watching, friends. I hope that you are doing well, and if you made it all the way to the end of this video, is there some kind of city-related emoji? I'm pretty sure there is. You might have to dig for it. But if there's like either one of those city emojis or skyline emojis that's like, and I know the iPhone emoji keyboard has some, or just something else that makes you think of, you know, city life or something like that, feel free to leave that in the comments below and let me know how you're doing and what you were working on while we chatted today. I can't remember what else I asked you about. Oh, if you want me to maybe look at updating the licensed shop list at some point, and just, you know, do my best with it. No one trying to have hurt feelings over it if I get something not quite right. And if you're interested in seeing me kind of add in more of like a gaming section to my reading, watching, listening too, so I have a little bit more to chat about. But okay, you guys, I'm gonna let you go. Please subscribe if you want to see more diamond painting videos from me, including these weekly WIP and Chats. I'd love to have you here as part of my community, and really appreciate that you took some time to watch/listen to this WIP and Chat today. Have a fantastic week. I hope you're doing well and taking care. Have a week that is as amazing as you are, and I'll talk to you again in the next one. Bye.